Take one.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to On the Road Trucking. This is episode number 6. I do want to take a moment for you guys to look around. I'm not too sure if you see, we are officially in our new office in Saint-Hubert. So thank you to On the Road Quebec for it. Please note, we are going to change the color. Francis is saying that it looks a bit too much like IKEA.
Yeah.
No offense to IKEA.
No,
We're
man,
just-
but you know the blue and the yellow.
The yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to change the blue a bit, but we are very happy today. We do have Isabelle from Women's Trucking Federation of Canada. So thank you, Isa, for being here with us today.
Thank you for welcoming me. I'm happy to be back behind the on the road microphones, especially with you, Mary Jane.
Thank you. I do want to say we also have Francis, our tech guy, who's
Yeah.
hiding behind. He is French, keep in mind, but he will try and join in English with us today.
Sometimes just tell you something.
Oui, oui, Jean-Guy.
Yeah. Yes, no toaster, relish mustard.
So we are very, very happy. You guys have been one of our first sponsors, and you have been with us the whole time, and I really thank you for it. I want to hear what you want to talk about today.
Well, Mary Jane, I'm going to hit you like a ton of bricks today, I think. We're going to go a little bit over what and who Women Trucking Federation is.
Okay.
But right now, today, I have my heart set on talking to you about human trafficking.
Okay, nice. That is a topic we definitely don't talk about much. It is a part of the industry, so I'm really happy to have that conversation with you.
Absolutely. And the idea came up. I shared a video online. It was called Our Children Are Not for Sale. And I had a lot of people on my Facebook saying, oh my God, this is unbelievable. I can't believe this is happening. And I was like, this happens way more than you think. And then I started researching here in Quebec. Either the information is hidden or it's not out there. I do see a lot of missing posters, you know, young girls are missing. And at the bottom, it'll say, could be in Toronto or Vancouver. I automatically know that's a human trafficking case, but most people don't. They think these people are running away. You know, they're just
Yes.
bad teenagers and they're running away. But it's definitely a big problem in Canada, even though we don't think that it is. So yeah. Let me know if you have any questions or
I have so many. I'm going to start with how long have you guys been looking into this? Is this some sort of project that Women's Federation of Canada has been working on for a long time? Is that a study that you guys are actively doing, or is it recent?
It's actually quite old. Our founder, Shelley, she's been the force behind Women's Trucking Federation. And as she grew Women's Trucking Federation, she really focused in on, wow, there's this problem in our industry. It's in probably a lot of other industries, but in our industry, because we transport goods, at some point we transport people as well. Whether we know
course.
it or not, whether we want to talk about it or not, we're moving people as well. And human trafficking, one of the big misconceptions in the industry or in the world is that human trafficking, you need to cross borders. This is called domestic human trafficking, so Canada to Canada, which makes it easier for the traffickers because they don't need a passport. They're not going through any...
No manifest.
No borders. So they stay within. So usually girls that are taken in Montreal end up in Toronto, Calgary, or Vancouver. Those are the big hubs. So there's no checkups. There's no checkpoints. You know, you don't get stopped at the border. You don't get inspected. So these people can just move freely from one end to the other of our great nation.
I do have a question. Now, you said, you know, these women. Earlier, you said the children. Does it also include men? Does it also include, is it just, you know, it can't be automatically just women, right?
Nope.
So are you guys looking globally, or not globally, but I mean, within all different sociology, like aspects of women, men, children?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that we did notice in compiling the data is there are a lot of men or boys. a lot of men don't go to the police and claim
Okay.
the incident. And a lot of women don't. One of the ladies we spoke with, Carly Church, she says 1 out of 10 victims of human trafficking don't even go to the police because they're scared, because they were told that things would happen to their families. So 1 out of 10 don't go to the police. And the actual number right now in Canada is 16,000 Canadians who are trafficked right now in Canada.
Who are reported.
So that's 1 out of 10. So if you multiply that number by 10 is actually a closer number to how many people are getting trafficked every day.
That is crazy. That is a lot. And do we know what kind of source or where these girls are taking from? Can you talk a bit more about the research?
Yeah, absolutely. You have children?
I have one son.
Okay. Is he old enough? Okay, he's not old enough to be on the apps yet. So my son is on the apps. You know, there's Discord. There's
Media platforms like
any media. You know, he could be
Instagram,
on
TikTok.
his PlayStation. He could be on TikTok. These people pretend like they're. So we're gonna go to the age. The majority of the children that are being trafficked are between 12 and 14. My son's 11. I can't imagine him having these conversations online, but these conversations online aren't intense in the beginning.
Not explicit, explicitly kind of, okay.
They call it a Romeo and Juliet. So they make the person trust them, you know, oh, I'm the same age as you or a little bit older, or hey, let's go meet in a park. They'll make you feel like he's your boyfriend or she's your girlfriend, because there are women as well. They'll build that relationship up with you, and then all of a sudden it'll be, hey, I need a video, or I need a picture, or, you know, I spent so much money on you, you need to pay me back. Here's how you're going to pay me back. And then you get into this world of, but I love him. Like, he loves me. He's, you know, he wouldn't do something like that to me. So you're attached to this person who from the beginning is planning on trafficking you. It's not all of a sudden they decide, oh, I don't want to be her boyfriend anymore. From the beginning, they know they're going to traffic you. So it's a long period of time, you know, we would say 3 months to 6 months where they're grooming you. You know, they're making you feel good. They're making you fall in love. They're buying you gifts. And then all of a sudden it's payback time. You can't pay for the gifts. You can't pay for the jacket I bought you. What about the boots I bought you? You need to go make me some money. And then the fun starts for them, right? The girls are usually moved because now they trust the Romeo. So then they're moved from, if you're in the Montreal area, they'll move you to a different province, a different city. You'll have nothing that
no contact with anyone.
Right. So it makes it harder for you to actually leave. You're scared to leave because there's danger, you know. Who's going to want me now? I'm damaged goods, you know? So it's a lot of psychological effects on the children. And it doesn't start as, I'm going to take you off the side of the street. You know, they trust them. They want to go with them. So watch your children. Watch what they do online.
I do have a question. Yep. Now you're saying that they trust this, we'll call him Romeo, right? Yes. Now, why when they get in a car with him to go to, let's say, Vancouver, and why are they going, why is it affecting, you know, the major transportation companies? So
the transportation industry, they help to move people. So the mom or dad or, you know, the police could say they were in such and such a vehicle, but that person has contacts in the transport industry, and our transport trucks move east to west all day long. So they could be like, hey, you need to bring this girl with you. She's going out to Vancouver. The truck driver might not know that she's being trafficked. Oh, it's my niece, it's my cousin, it's my girlfriend. They might not know. We think they know, but you might not know. One way in a truck stop to spot something like this that's happening is, you know, if you see a girl going into the shower and the person stays at the door and they're watching that this person, you know, watching their every move, making sure they're not talking to anybody. Basically, if you see a young girl or, you know, a teenager
at a truck stop,
I mean, calling the police and it not being what you think it is better than not calling the police and it being what it is. So one thing we say is, you see something, say something, even if it's wrong. You know, I don't think the police will ever fault you for being like,
Yeah, being cautious.
yeah, you know, and trust your gut instinct. If you feel like you're looking at this man and this girl or this man and this boy, and we can tell, you know, you can tell that that's my son. You can tell the way we interact. If you feel like something's not right, call the police.
Absolutely.
You know, 16,000, 1 out of 10. That means there's so many children out there being trafficked that we probably seen a few without even knowing that they were there.
And you think that broken trust happens when they move from, you know, that Romeo to the truck driver? Do you think at that point they kind of realize what's going on, or
Absolutely.
are they still? Okay.
Yeah, I think they do. I know we've watched a lot of survivor videos, documentaries. Shelly has talked with many survivors, and a lot of them, even while they're being sexually assaulted, as they're in that drug world, because a lot of them get drugged, they still think that Romeo is going to come and save them. You know, they still think that, well, I'm just doing it to pay him back or to help him financially, or I'm helping, but the Romeo is already back in Montreal getting another one. It's one of the biggest moneymaker in Canada. It's $1 billion industry.
And it's not like mass in my head, and maybe it's just really my lack of knowledge on the subject. In my head, I was thinking more like human trafficking, like mass, you know, amounts of people in a trailer, but you're saying it's usually like 1 or 2 at a time in a truck.
Yeah, it'll be like a passenger. It'll be, you know, oh, she came out from the back, you know, why was she hiding? A lot of people, you say human trafficking, you think, oh, we're going to get people from other countries and bring them over. You know, people coming over in containers or on boats. That's international trafficking. This is domestic. So these people never cross the border. They're from Canada. They're going to Canada. And the domestic trafficking has more children than the international trafficking. We have the trafficking where people are bringing in cheap labor. That's human trafficking. You have people bringing in their wives and their daughters through a closed border. That's trafficking. But the domestic sexual trafficking is what we're focusing on. That's what I'm focusing on. And I think we need to talk about it. We talk about a lot of things with children in school. They don't talk about the dangers of social media. We didn't grow up with the social media, so we don't really know. But I think it's a discussion that we need to have with our children, with our parents, with our grandparents, with our teachers. It's important because psychologically, they think this is my future. We've all been in love. Yeah. You know, we would do some crazy things for love.
It's the puppy love. It's the, you know, honeymoon phase.
Absolutely.
If you really don't see, you are completely blind. Do these people usually have a major age difference? I have heard in the past that sometimes they will kind of recruit a more experienced, I'm going to say a recruiter. It sounds horrible as a recruiter, but I mean someone that's younger to approach these younger children.
They actually do. There was a show in Quebec, Fugueuse.
Yes.
That wasn't based on fake facts. That wasn't somebody who invented that in their brain. The scene where she's at work in the mall and this lady comes and she's so friendly. It's not always a man trying to get a girl. Sometimes it's a girl trying to get a girl. Sometimes you are in trafficking and they're like, you need to get some of your friends. So now it's your friend that's saying, hey, you know, you need to come on, but she's being forced to do it. So there's a lot of open doors to this world and we need to really be careful. You know, we don't want to scare our children either, but at some point I think we need to put some of that pressure. And if you want to watch Fugueuse in French with your children, if not, there's a really good show on YouTube, which is SOSA, SOSA.
Okay.
It's actually a group of adults who lure those predators online pretending they're children.
I love that.
Oh, me too. And they have the whole police force there and, you know, they really catch these guys. And at some point, I think we're on season 3 and I'm like, that's a lot of people. Like we're on season 3 and I'm sure they have footage, you know,
of more.
It's every day, all day, every day. That industry doesn't stop, just like the trucking industry.
And you don't really know, right? If someone is a trafficker, it could be a very important person. It could be a father figure. It could be, you know, a family man. that on the side in his free time does this.
It can. Yeah. It can be your mom, your aunt, your teacher.
Wow.
Yep.
That is
So it's a
crazy.
conversation that needs to be had. I believe at the school level, my son's 11 years old. You know, they learn about all the sexual lingo and innuendos. And I think we need to get them at that age because they all have cell phones. They all have apps. One of the apps, Shelly actually just told me about it this morning. If you want, check on your children's tablets or phones. If you see that there's 2 calculators, one of those calculators is actually an app to hide social media. And that app is used by traffickers, by predators.
So it's like a known app for
Yeah.
that kind of.
Yeah, Discord. You know,
Yeah.
the other day I was looking on my son's phone and I'm like, why do you have Discord? Like, I know about Discord. And he's like, that's where me and my friends talk. I'm like, no, like, time out. Like,
So I don't even know what Discord is. I guess maybe I'm a bit too old or too young. I'm not sure.
it's
One
like
of the two.
it's like a chatting app. Like, it's a way for them to communicate together.
Like an MSN of our time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
AOL, you know. They don't have that anymore, but you know, Fortnite.
Yes.
You know, sometimes he's playing and I'm like, who's that? Oh, it's my friend's dad. That worries me. Why is your friend's dad playing with you? You know, those are little things that should be like, whoa, what? I highly recommend you check your children's tablets or phones or whatever as often as you can. If they want to have a TikTok account, they could have your account where you can also check. My son has a Facebook, like a kid's messenger, which I can check on my phone. We need to be there for our children and really see what they're doing.
And awareness. I mean, the
Yeah.
number one prevention to anything is really just awareness to situations, to these kind of, you know, not attacks. Attacks isn't the right word, but kind of is, right?
Yeah.
What are your plans with this? You know, you guys have been studying this. You guys have been talking to people and getting testimonies. What is your next action towards that?
Well, we actually developed a training. So it's an online training, survivor-led training for recognizing human trafficking. We do it at my work. Every single employee that comes in does that training as part of their onboarding.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a big deal. A lot of the guys and the girls who will do the training, they're like, wow, you know, it like lights a little, I'm going to take a look around more often. So what we're looking for is to get those training into every trucking industry. It should be part of every onboarding. Even the schools should be doing it. Anybody who drives a car and stops at a truck stop or stops anywhere, you know, you're at McDonald's and you're like, that
Looks suspicious.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just, as a mom, you have that feeling. You kind of spot it. Don't be scared.
Intuition.
Yes.
Women's intuition. I know. You
Don't be
gotta
scared.
trust it.
Don't be scared to call. I know Shelly, she deals with the OPP a lot in Ontario. And they say, if you think it's something, they're never going to get mad in case it's not. Your intuition is usually right. So if you see something, say something, definitely. So yeah, we have the training. It's on our website. So it's nohumantrafficking.com.
Okay.
And it's KNOW. So nohumantrafficking.com. Francis, you can put it here in the video.
Yeah,
Our
sure.
tech guy.
Yeah.
Our tech guy.
Yeah. So you can actually do the training on the website.
Okay.
If you do want it to be incorporated into your training as a
Absolutely.
recruiter, we can send you the information.
I would love to.
And then you can just upload it. We just uploaded it to our recruitment, you know, our hiring policies and stuff. It's very good. It's survivor led. So survivors wrote the training and it's their training, you know, what to look for, how to recognize it, what to do. Our truck drivers love it. A lot of them, when they see it come up on their, you know, their list of training, they're like, ugh. And then after they come and see me, they're like, man, Isabel, that was great. And I'm like, right?
Is it like a questionnaire or is it just more like listening to testimonies? Is it?
There's testimonies. There's no test at the end. It's testimonies. It's reading about, you know, human trafficking. It gives you a lot of stats. And it opens your eyes to, you know, we think in Canada we're sheltered from all of that stuff. Oh, it happens in the United States. Oh, Mexico. Canada, is a big hub for human trafficking. I'm telling you right now, Montreal, the F1 weekend is the biggest human trafficking weekend. Absolutely.
Wow.
So, you're paying a lot of money to go to the F1. Meanwhile, in the background, the $1 million industry is not the races, it's the girls and the boys. That's a problem. And we don't talk about it enough.
And that is like proven, right? That during that weekend, it is the...
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. And when we talk about sex trafficking, a lot of people mistake as well sex workers and trafficking. Anybody who is in the sex industry by force is in fact getting trafficked. If you have a pimp who's taking the money from your work, you're being trafficked. If you're not doing this willingly, and some people do, some people maybe they like, not that they like it, but
but some do.
It's a means to an end. But the minute that someone is profiting off of your actions, that's trafficking. People need to realize that.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of, especially in Quebec, there's a lot of uproar about, let the sex workers be sex workers. 100%.
Yeah, sex work is work. That's my mentality on it.
Absolutely. As long as there's no pimp behind you.
Correct.
Who's making the money for you.
Absolutely.
So we need to separate the two. And a lot of times, even in the, the stats and stuff that we're getting, a lot of it is kind of kerfuffled because, well, is it sex work or is it traffic?
We are going to go on a mini pause.
No problem.
We'll be right back with
we
you
can
guys.
Digest it.
Yes. Welcome back. Is that from break?
Thank you.
I want to know more about, the Federation itself and what you guys, what your values are, what you're looking for. What's your goal?
Well, our goal is more than 10% women in the trucking industry. We do sponsor a lot of training for women. We have a women's job board. We also have mentors. They can reach us on Facebook. You can message us on Facebook on Women's Trucking Federation of Canada. One of us is going to answer you. If you're looking for a job, if you're looking for advice, you want to get into the training in Ontario or Quebec. If you're French, you can definitely get a hold of me. You can just message Women's Trucking Federation, speak French, you'll get me. If you speak English, you'll get any one of us. We're always there to help women in the industry. We're happy that we launched our shop as well. I'm going to plug that in a little bit here.
Yes.
So our shop address is www.wtfc.com. You can buy hoodies, you can buy merch, you can buy stickers, and a lot of the money that we get with this goes directly to the No Human Trafficking Foundation. And as part of the shop soon, we're gonna have the Shelly shower kit.
Okay.
Francis is gonna put it right here. It's a little shower kit. I'm gonna read my notes because it's brand new. The shower kit comes from Timia Nagy, who is a survivor of human trafficking. She was at our Bridging Barriers conference in September. She told us her story. She opened up to a room full of, industry professionals for the trucking industry. And they created a shower kit for women, which is a great Christmas present for your ladies in their trucks, or even for the men. They can give them to their wives.
Why not?
The money that they gather from this, a huge portion comes to human trafficking for us to, get the word out there. But every purchase, also, the money goes to survivors. It goes to help them get ready for Christmas. It helps them, get a little bit of money because for the longest time, the money wasn't theirs. So it supports a survivor all the time, all the way. And when it doesn't support a survivor, it comes to the human trafficking network, which we're there to help raise awareness and also help survivors get their voices out there.
And it's such a good idea because not only, you're saying, the money wasn't necessarily going to them. Yes, but also the mental impact that situation happened to them has to be very difficult to trust people and get back into the industry, especially trucking industry. if they ever, wanted to go that route. I think it's a really wonderful way to give back to them.
I think so as well. And the fact that we are the Women's Trucking Federation and No Human Trafficking, we actually open that door for them to, let's get you into a new job or a new financial situation where you can support yourself and you don't need to go back to that Romeo and Juliet situation. So the Women's Trucking Federation is out there. They're fighting for our rights. They're fighting for the industry. They're going to be in Ottawa next week. They're going to be talking with some MPs about, illegal drivers and what's going on with the whole situation of
hear
trucking.
about it every single day, of course, yes.
And I want to...
It's also human trafficking about this situation.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the
That's
illegal
a labor
driver,
trafficking.
it's a labor trafficking, right? Yeah.
So they're
It's different, but it's the same situation.
Yeah, it's labor trafficking. You're bringing in cheap labor for your company to, make more money on the backs of people. So it goes back to, is it your money? Is somebody making money off you? Trafficking is a huge umbrella. But yeah, labor trafficking goes hand in hand with Assez C'est Assez. They're fighting to make our streets safer. And I want to thank them for, being the voice out there, because a lot of us, being in the industry, we're a little bit, we are prevented from talking about some certain things. But I do want to thank them for the work they're doing. Their voices are being heard. And they're going to be heard on Tuesday in Ottawa. So that's a great start.
And that is
I may have a small question if you okay. Do you have a lot of statistics about the human trafficking in Canada? I love stats. I love math, so I know.
I do, actually. I'm just going to grab my phone.
Yeah, I know I take you by surprise, but
I have them on my phone. I did the homework.
While she looks, I did want to mention what you just said. That was a great point. We do, both Izza and I, work for transportation companies. So of course we try to be as, open, as raw with the information, but we do have to also be very mindful not to impact our own companies that we have, which I value the company I work for so much. And in my head, when I hear about these things, I'm like, oh, it could never be us, I think so highly of CT that I never imagined, but sometimes it happens without the companies actually being aware.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why it's super important for us to actually sit down and have these conversations and bring awareness. They're not aware necessarily. Even sometimes I think the drivers might not be aware, like you said earlier. So I think a lot of the labor trafficking, I actually have stats for labor trafficking as well on here. I think a lot of the labor trafficking, like you said, the driver doesn't even know they're being trafficked. They're being brought over here by industry. They're being brought over here, to work. And in their country, maybe they don't make the same amount of money that our drivers make here. So they think it's normal, but it's not. It's not normal for you to work for pennies on the dollar. It's not normal for you to work if your truck's if it's in disrepair, Absolutely.
The driver might not know that the rules here in Canada are different than in their country. There's safety, there's, DOT inspections, which they don't have in their country probably, but they don't know any better. So if they're coming into a company who's looking to take advantage of them, they're not going to tell them you're allowed to have breaks. You're allowed to, sleep at night. You don't need to be two or three drivers. And allowed to is
a big word. You legally have to take breaks. You know, there's mandatory breaks. You can't go over those hours. I have actually spoken to drivers or, I'm going to say owner-operator drivers. From my experience that I have spoken to, there's probably different, circumstances that have told me that they were forced to take a truck that was, had major deficiencies, should not have been able to take, and it was a life risk, and they had no choice. A lot of them are under work permits, closed work permits, and to get out of a work permit is very difficult. You have to make a full study case, a whole case as to why this employer is not good for you in every situation. It's very hard to get out of.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, it's a supply and demand. Regardless of the trafficking umbrella you're under, it's supply and demand.
Absolutely.
If employers were not employing those types of drivers, we wouldn't have them. If people were not buying children, we wouldn't have them. So it's a supply and demand. We need to follow the money. There's some hard questions that we need to ask all of our industry leaders. It would never happen to us.
Right, never. Of course not.
We're recruiters, and you can't recruit without loving the company you work for. It could never be us.
Yeah.
But it opens my eyes a little bit more to,
could it?
Is it us?
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people need to look at their own employees and say, is it us? Because once we start looking at ourselves, then we can say, okay, it's not us, but we need to speak about it. Because the companies that are hiring those cheap labor, they're ruining the whole industry. I mean, you see it online, how many accidents happen. We're not even in the winter. This is not normal,
No.
I know our company takes safety to heart.
Absolutely.
We have incidences, and we're going back through training, and we're bringing the drivers back in. What did we miss? How can we help you? If that doesn't happen in every company, how can we save the industry? So I want to thank the people that are allowed to voice their opinion, and that are doing it, because not a lot of people can. We see the impact, but we need to protect, the industry as well. So
what about those stats that you were saying that you have now? So give us those numbers, girl.
I got some numbers. I got some graphs. I'm going to give them to Francis here, who can put them up on the screen when he creates this nice podcast for us. So the average age, like I said, of entry into sex trafficking is 12 to 14, which is unbelievable.
Pretty young.
It's, to me, that blows my mind. I have a 12-year-old stepdaughter, and I couldn't imagine her going through any of this. In 2023, there was 570 incidents reported nationwide out of 16,000. The rate in 2023 was 1.4 incidents per 100,000 of a population. So in your neighborhood, there's somebody. And that's, 1 out of 10 that are reported. So we can say it's 10 point.
Absolutely. You have to always multiply and keep in mind that not everyone reports.
Yeah.
Some parents might not want
Nope.
the community to know that this happened, and get that kind of look. And
No, exactly. You don't want people at school knowing your daughter was sex trafficked, So, and there is a lot of embarrassment. There's a lot of, it's going to ruin my life for the rest of my life. Let's not talk about it, but we need to talk about it to prevent it. 93% are women and girls. 23% of those numbers is under 18, a girl or a woman under 18. The largest trafficked group is 42% under 18. 91% of the cases, they know their abuser.
91?
91%.
Like not like the Romeo situation that we talked about earlier. It's actually
it's your uncle, it's your mom's friend, it's your mom. There are cases in Canada where the mom provided the child, which is, I have no comment for that. In Montreal alone, 264 police reports.
Wow.
In Montreal alone. So Montreal is a significant hub. Like I said, Vancouver, Toronto, Nova Scotia is starting to be a hub, which is weird because it's Nova Scotia. Nobody thinks anything bad of Nova Scotia. I don't. I love Nova Scotia. So in Canada, 90% is sex trafficking, 10% is labor. Nova Scotia, 2.1 per 100,000. We have, the Quebec-Ontario corridor, 265 incidents in 2013, from 2013 to 2023. Again, these numbers are from the government. These numbers are from survivors. So a lot of the numbers are skewed, and that's what we're trying to clean up it's hard to say, this is happening, and the numbers aren't accurate.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to show is, the numbers are there. It's happening in your neighborhood. It could be your next door neighbor. It could be down the road. You could be driving by a school bus, not knowing that, you know, somebody's waiting on the corner. I send my son to the corner to take the bus. I'm not there with him all the time, but somebody could be there. Somebody could be there every day talking to him, becoming his friend. And then all of a sudden I don't have a son anymore. So it's,
Sorry.
so we have a lot of stats. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give Francis the stats. We can unroll that at the end. If you go to knowhumantrafficking.com, we have a lot of information. There's videos of survivors. There's a lot of links to different sites that you can go check. The whole website is in English right now. We're working on making it bilingual. The training as well is only in English. We're working on having that bilingual as soon as possible. And if you see something or if you suspect something and you're not sure if you want to call the police, you can call the No Human Trafficking hotline at 1-833-900-1010. Somebody's going to answer. They're going to take the information, and we have links directly to the police. So we make the report to the police.
I love that. So it's like a third party. That way the person is not necessarily responsible for giving that information.
It's kind of like a Crime Stoppers.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a really great initiative. Now, I do have one more question about the hubs. You were saying, you know, from Montreal, it's a very high demand. I'm going to say high demand. Sounds crazy to say, but it is what it is.
We have to say it.
And they go to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Now, does it also go the other way? Is
Absolutely.
Vancouver also bringing them to Montreal? What is the biggest, do we know? Or is it just like it goes and it comes and
They try to move you, right? So if you're in Montreal, most of the time you'll end up in Toronto or Calgary. If they pick you up in Vancouver, you'll probably end up in Toronto or Montreal. They're trying to get you away from people you know. You're going to run away. You're going to run where? You know, your province is away from home. They're taking you away from your comfort. They're taking you away from things you know, people you know. They take your phones away. You know, what are you going to do? And the psychological abuse that goes with it, you know. I won't say the words now because there's children in the room, but, you know, putting you down so much that you think you're not worth it. So you just stay because who's going to love me now? You know, what's my mom going to say? What's my friends going to say?
I've put myself in that situation and kind of take the blame for it, which is never the case. I must say that you are never at fault. No matter what, you know, the industry or you are never at fault.
Nope.
Whether you are wearing short shorts, whether you're wearing sweatpants, it will happen to anyone. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter what you were doing in that moment.
No, exactly.
That is, you know, a stigma that we really need to kind of get rid of.
Absolutely. And if there's any girls or women or people watching right now that feel like they might know something or feel like, you know, they don't know for sure, you're a parent, you don't know what app to look for, you don't know how do I start this conversation with my children, you guys can reach out to me. Francis is going to put my Facebook on there. It's going to stay private. Again, there's the phone number that, you know, you can call our hotline, but talk. Don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid. If you think your daughter is going through something or your son's going through something, ask questions.
You guys are kind of trained by it, right?
Absolutely.
You guys are so, you know, knowledgeable on the subject. Yeah. I think it's definitely worth to just send hey, like, can I ask you a question here and there? Like, what do you think about the situation? Yeah. I think that's wonderful that you guys are actually sticking up for, you know, women and children and boys as well.
Boys is a up and coming situation. It's problematic, but we're seeing a lot more children that are boys that are now in the trafficking.
When you said your statistics, I kind of went the opposite way to check how many males, because it is important to include them as well. And it said 7% if I do the opposite. So
I have a question for you, Mary Jane. You are a woman. You have children. How do you feel when you hear all this? What you like to say to the truck driver so then you can be more careful or something?
What I think about it, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but I'm going to kind of just say I think it's disgusting. Like she said, you know, Isabelle said, it's the demand. And to me, that there's such a high demand for an industry.
Billion-dollar industry.
Billion-dollar industry. It makes no sense to me how even the thought of that, even mentally, emotionally, how can you put someone else through that situation knowing the consequences for money? I get it. We all want to be rich. I don't know anyone.
Absolutely.
I don't know anyone who's like, I just want to be poor. We all want to be rich, but there is things that you should not be rich on, and that integrity, I can't imagine, living a double life and kind of doing that on the side. So that's how I feel about it. I think it's absolutely disgusting. As for having a son, of course, as a mama bear, I am kind of a mama bear. I'm in between. I understand, the privacy aspect. It's just definitely, some parents are more, look through their phones, make sure that it's not happening. I personally think I'm going to be more into the awareness, into the conversations, into if you have a question. He's too young for me to know exactly how I'm going to feel at that age. Right now, the idea of going through my son's phone, it's not necessarily something I can picture myself doing right now. Again, we're talking in 10 years.
Yeah, imagine how many discords are going to be out there in 10 years.
There you go. So it's probably only going to increase with the social media, with the ways, the tactics, right? Everything evolves, everything moves. So maybe in 10 years, I'll be sitting here and I'll be telling you, you know what? I've been looking at my son's phone for the past 10 years. I don't know. I think it's a very important decision to make as a parent. So hopefully I make the right one, right? That's what I always want to do as a parent, right? Make the right decision for my son. So yeah.
I have another question. This time is for Isa. How many transport company in Canada is engaged to safety awareness?
Oh, that's a good one, Francis.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a loaded question.
What about your onboarding procedure? You said some companies have included it. Do you know how many?
No, at the moment.
Just sensibilization or?
I know a lot of, so the program is given through Women's Trucking Federation, and it was created by a company out in Nova Scotia. We're looking to create our own, really, the no human trafficking training that's going to be in English and French. I believe there's probably I would say about 10 big companies that use it. I believe Walmart has it. Because Walmart actually has, this is another thing we offer through Women's Trucking Federation and No Human Trafficking. We can wrap trailers.
Yeah, I see a lot of trailer with the lost children or, around the country. But I see a couple of trailer with the human trafficking, but
there's not enough.
No, yeah.
There's not enough. And we actually have a really good price out in Toronto with one of the companies that does our wraps.
I see on the road Quebec on the tanker in
Yes. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
There's a pink
but
one
I don't
as well,
see.
I think.
Yeah. It's another subject, yeah.
And that's another thing. If you're, part of a business that, you have that pull that you want to get one of your trailers wrapped, I'm the one who designs them. I can sit with you and do it in either in your business color. We can... there's no set look for it. What we do is put our ribbon, which is purple, the no human trafficking. We put the no human trafficking information on it. But the design behind it, the world's your oyster. I can create anything. That's something I give my time for it because I would like to see all the trailers wrapped, tankers, dumpers, dry box. If you have the pull in your enterprise to get one of your trailers wrapped, get a hold of us. The more, it's a moving billboard.
I'm going to be looking into that. So
absolutely.
If my bosses see this, I'm coming with that request.
What's your boss's name? I'll call him tomorrow.
Let me take the bullet.
Could the government and the media be doing more? Or
Absolutely. And that's something that, when I saw the video, the production.
Yeah, I see the video before.
Our children are not for sale. I was like, I'm going to look up stats and I'm going to go look, Google and see what comes up. And I was so sad to see there's not much in Quebec. Canada's getting there. They have a lot of
Quebec,
survivors.
No, I don't see this this information, this topic in Quebec.
No, it's on. I was actually talking to Shelley this morning, and I'm like, "Are we afraid to talk about it?"
Talking
I think so. It's a
about
stigma.
this problem with you 1 year ago in on the road Quebec, but I don't see other media talking about this situation. So
no, and
maybe, but
a lot of media. I've listened to some medias in Quebec who do talk about it.
I just see Fugueuse in Quebec.
Yeah, and you know what?
TV show.
You should watch that with any of your children, all of your children. Watch it, rewatch it. I can't say enough. That is not
It's not the-
theater.
no,
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
real life. That's exactly how it happens. That's the perfect example of Romeo and Juliet. Watch it, rewatch it, explain, pause it, talk to your children. In Ontario, they have a lot of survivor.
Don't watch this season 2, by the way.
I haven't watched it. There's a lot of survivors that go into schools. You know, they're doing a lot of conferences. They're going into businesses. And I don't see that in Quebec yet. That's why I'm here. I want to bring it out in Quebec. If it needs to be in French, I'm completely bilingual. I will French it up for you.
I will help you.
But the media needs to talk about it. Schools need to talk about it. When a child goes missing and the poster says could be in Toronto, Vancouver, whatever, if the person is from Montreal and you see something that says Toronto underneath, get used to it in your brain. They're probably being trafficked, and we need to post that everywhere. You need to share it. Like, the best thing you can do is share. And like you said,
free.
what do you think about it from an industry standard? What can the drivers do? Be aware. You guys are the ones every day in a truck stop. You know when you see something weird. I know when I go to the mall and I see like a child with somebody and I'm like, man, that's not their parent. Like, I'll follow them around. I don't care. Like, I need to know what's happening. You need to ask those questions because it's happening more than you think.
Ignorance is not the way to go in these
No,
situations.
absolutely not. Because you know what? If it was your child, you would want that Isabel to
To
follow.
So if ever you're shopping at Walmart or somewhere, please know if you see Isabel following you, she's just making sure everything's
Just
okay.
show me some ID.
Undercover police over here.
Yeah. And I think the more we talk about it, we can have fun with it. You know, it's a dark subject. We don't want to think about it. But I think let's talk about it. Let's open the airwaves. If we have survivors in Quebec who want to have a conversation, let's do it.
Yes.
You call us, we'll put you on the air. We'll listen to your story.
I'll help you. I mean, we can always, include them
Oh, absolutely.
in our podcast. More
Absolutely.
than willing to kind of help
We
you
are
guys
opening
through
the
that.
door. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we are going to take another little break, and
I
we'll be
like
right
breaks.
with you.
Thank you, Mary Jane.
Welcome back from break, everyone. I do want to say hello to Max Goulet, my co-host, who's currently working on a new podcast. He did ask me for some help. We need your help. He's looking for like a stage name. Yeah, he needs some help. If you guys want to comment below what you think Max's new name should be for his new podcast, of course, of On the Road Trucking. I don't need a stage name, so please don't write those. I'm going to stay with MJ. I think that's best. I do want to take a moment as well to thank all of our wonderful sponsors. We have increased. We are now at 6, of course. Our number one is Women's Trucking Federation of Canada right here. If you guys are interested in becoming a sponsor, we are affiliated with On the Road Quebec. We do, radio shows. We also do podcasts. We are everywhere on Facebook,
You
Instagram,
have an app.
TikTok. We have an app. So we are very fortunate to have Francis Tremblay with us and Cal. We are, again, so grateful and thankful for all of you. I do want to thank our wonderful sponsors. We have Women's Trucking Federation of Canada. We have CAT. We do have Camionneurs Québec, who is now our new sponsor with us, with Kim. So we are very grateful for that. We have Wallace Transportation, Total Energies as well, and Empress. Thank you guys so much. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor, let me know. We'll gladly have you guys on the show with us.
It's great being here too.
Right? It's pretty
Oh my
fun.
God.
In our new Saint-Hubert office. I
Yeah.
love it. It's amazing over here.
And you guys don't see because the cameras are this way, but the sunset tonight was epic.
We
I
are
love
very
it.
fortunate, right in front of a truck stop. So it's going to be an amazing year coming for us. Isabelle, we are at our closing end.
Yes.
Let's talk. What do you need to tell everyone else? What is your next, big momentum over here of what you want to say?
Well, our big momentum, honestly, is the companies.
Okay.
We need companies to join Women's Trucking Federation. We have a lot of conferences over the year. We have one that just came in September in Mississauga, And in the springtime, we have one in Western Canada. Last year was in Calgary. We're hoping to have it in Calgary again. We have great speakers. We're up to date on the industry. We have a seat at the table with the federal government, which is great. One of our board members, Joanne, she's part of the OTA. She's a broker. She's on the road all the time. She knows what she's talking about. If you have any questions, you guys can reach out to us. If you want to sponsor us, if you have any questions, you want to buy a shirt, if you want to know how to help us out as well, knowhumantrafficking.com, and it's KNO, like knowledge, knowhumantrafficking.com. Again, that phone number, if you want to reach us anonymously and you just want to give us a tip or ask us a question, 1-833-900-1010. And otherwise, you can reach us on www.wtfc.com. We're always there for you. The more people who join in on the fight with us, the more businesses that join us, the more we can get the word out there. And I'm definitely looking to come back on here. If we can get some survivors, that would be great, just to get the word out there and show, I can talk about it all day, but I haven't lived it. Hearing people who've lived it, the emotion is there, and it'll help you save a girl or a boy in your life. So
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Always an honor to speak with you.
Thank you.
And I hope everyone has enjoyed this and kind of gotten some knowledge from it, from the industry. It is not taboo to talk about it. We should really, be more knowledgeable on the subject. So thank you, Izza, for bringing that awareness to us today.
You're very welcome. It needs to be out there, especially with having more women in the industry. So we're here.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Have yourselves a great day.
Bye.